Hey everybody, Mid-Zero here. I wanted to take this time to show you a DFB, Death from Below mini trial, and I'm going to just talk over some footage that I took of me running DFB. The first thing you do is you're going to start off with a group. You just get 6 to 8 people together, and you can launch it from any zone, but right now on the homecoming servers it seems like a lot of people meet in the sewers, because the sewers used to be a good place to level when you were a low level character, so now it kind of serves a purpose. As you can see, you'll launch from here, and once everybody gets together you'll click the LFG tab, or the leader will, and he'll launch it, and you just click accept. Then it will start up. I did want to take a minute to tell everybody that DFB has been nerfed a little bit. It used to be something that you could run it 4 times. It takes about 13 to 15 minutes a run, and 4 runs would get you to about level 18 to 19 if you're running the double XP boosters that they give out for free. Now they've nerfed it to the point where I ran it 4 times with the double XP boosters, and I got to level 13 and a half. So it's not as good, but you still get bonuses at the end of it. So it really just depends on what you want to do with your early levels. That's really not that bad. So I'm just going to kind of give you a walkthrough. As you zone in, you're going to have these longbow guys off to your left, and you can actually level up with them. And this one is pretty straightforward. You're just going to be fighting the guys, and you're just going to travel through the sewers, and at the end there's an archvillain who he's a little bit stronger than most, but he's not that difficult. And plus DFB scales you down to level 1, and then you level up through it. Even if you're like level 30, it'll scale you down to level 1. And so it's meant for you to do this at low levels. So you don't need any special builds. You'll see these flame circles on the ground, and they do shoot up flamethrowers that will deal you a minor amount of damage. If you just run through them, they do like 2 damage, so it's not a big deal, but just don't stand on them. And I'm going to, I'll just skip around a little bit, because, I mean, you don't really need to watch 15 minutes of a regular DFB run, because each one is just kill a group of enemies, move forward, and it's pretty much only one direction you can go in. So I will just be skipping ahead and trying to splice this together to keep it somewhat entertaining and also just informative as I can. As you get down to the last fight here, you're going to come down and you're going to fight this group of enemies. And once this, you can actually see a counter on the upper right. It tells you how many enemies are left before it'll summon the archvillain. And once you kill them, it'll tell you, like, see there, a message just popped up, and he'll spawn over here, and you just kill him, and then you can proceed forward with the DFB. So you're just gonna basically dogpile this guy. Hopefully you've got at least one healer, or at least one kind of support to just keep everybody up. But other than that, everybody's using kind of their free powers to hold them over, like the Sands of Mu, and you're just throwing everything you've got at them. And a lot of times, as you can see, we've got enough control here to just pretty much keep them held. Then you just move forward, go through the sewer pipes, and there'll be another one of these longbow guys here, so you can actually come up and level up in the middle of the mission, which is another reason why it's good, because in the normal game, a lot of times when you're in a group, you have to kind of take a moment away from the fighting to go level up, and sometimes people, they'll leave the group, or if things kind of slow down. So this is just, it's a perfect way to do your first 10 levels at least. in this area, it's going to be the same thing. You're just going to kill groups, move forward. But one of the things you got to look out for are these explosive barrels, and they will give you a warning. They'll count down to 3, or they'll count from 3 down to 0, and then they'll explode. And they do, you know, a medium amount of damage. And there's some of them actually located near the fights. So just keep an eye out for these, because one person can set it off, and then you can actually come up on it in passing. Now you can earn a badge on the boss fight, and I don't know if I don't think it's a part of any of these big accolades that give you permanent bonuses, but just like most things, if it's a badge or an achievement, then we want to do it. And to get it, all you have to do is make sure that none of the zombies die. Everybody just uses single target attacks and goes straight for the archvillain here. And I'm making a joke here in a way, but it's difficult because people will screw it up every time. You know, there's been times when I've run this, you know, with varying characters like 8 or 9 times and never gotten the badge because somebody will throw a fireball or they'll do something, and even just confusing the boss. I mean, there's just a lot of different ways that you can kill these zombies, and someone will always do it. But it's a nice badge to get. It's really easy if everybody just tries not to use AoEs. So that's something you can try for on this boss fight. But other than that, it's the same thing. Kill the boss. Once you finish it, you can go into the pipe and move into the next area. As you can see, there's another one of these level up guys, which is nice. So you can just, you know, get your powers really quickly. This next area, one of the hazards that you're going to look out for are, looks like crashed parts of a spaceship, and they emit kind of an electricity field. And if you stand in it, it does a medium amount of damage to you. So just don't stand in them, and they're kind of off to the side anyway, so it's not really a big deal. So for this archvillain fight, there's another badge that you can earn, and the way you earn it is by killing all of his minions before you kill him, which is, it's actually much easier than the last one, just because strategically it makes sense to kill all those minions. He's the toughest enemy, so he's not going to die to accidental AoEs. Also, he gets himself a buff, or he heals, or he does something based on the amount of allies that he has around him, so it makes the fight easier So that's how you get that. Defeat the boss and go through the pipe, and then you're on to the next phase. Once you get into this area, there's going to be your last level up guy. This is the last area of DFB. It's a straight stretch, and you're going to run forward, and then you're going to have this huge drop off, and there's 2 hydras down here, and you just take a jump and just start wailing on these guys. They do really minor damage themselves, and they spawn these little guys that seem to do even less damage. But the real killer is these little bubbles that they'll spawn, and these like acid spouts or sewage spouts, whatever they are. If you stand in them for too long, you almost will instantly die. And you gotta watch out for being animation locked if you're doing an attack that takes a while. Just make sure you don't accidentally queue it up after you've got a bubble underneath you. But I think in this fight you actually see one of the teammates, they'll get underneath one and they just drop dead in like 2 or 3 seconds. But you always start with the left one, just kill him, and then you move on to the right one. And as for the little ads, a lot of times I don't even mess with them. I just try to do damage to the boss, because they do such a small amount of damage. I don't even really bother with them. Now when you beat this, you're going to have access to 4 buffs that last for up to a week or until you reach level 22. Damage, accuracy, defense, and endurance recovery. And those actually stack, so if you run it 4 times, you'll get these buffs. They're definitely worth having. And yeah, I mean, you don't get those, so those are a really good way to start off a new character by getting at least, you know, an accuracy to damage or an accuracy to endurance recharge. And also you get SOs. As you can see, I've got some of these, and they sell for a pretty good amount, so just by running this you can make some quick money. There's one other thing I wanted to show you. So I intentionally get myself killed in this fight, because in DFB when you die, you don't go to the hospital, you go to a special room and you have to wait for a timer to run out. And once the timer has run out, it'll let you leave, and only during that time. So you have to make sure you're kind of paying attention. It'll pop up and it'll say hospital door locked, next unlock in 20 seconds. And if you click, it won't let you out, so you have to just sit and wait. And then it unlocks for I think 10 seconds, so you have to open it up and get out of there, because if not you have to wait for the next round. And I think that's to keep people kind of from just rushing the boss over and over. There'll be a teleporter because you're in the very beginning of the area, and you just kind of step through this circle and it'll start you back at the last part of the zone that you're in. So it'll catch you up. If you're on like phase 4, it'll move you to the 4th phase. If you're in phase 2, it'll bring you to 2, but you do have to run all the way back. And again, I'm assuming that's to keep, you know, half the team dies and then they just run back really quickly and just keep the boss fight going that way. But I'm not 100% sure, but that's something that some people have had problems with. They just didn't understand what was going on and they get stuck in there. So thanks for watching, and I hope this helped. Bye guys.